What's going on, guys? Roadnote 44. Out here working on an airstrip tonight. You'll have to excuse the 12 FPS. There's absolutely no way of getting around that in developer mode. But luckily, most of what we're going to be doing tonight's fairly slow paced, so 12 FPS shouldn't matter a whole lot. Get everything set up here. I've actually been working on this airstrip for about an hour and a half now, but you know what? I felt like kind of chilling out, talking for a bit. So I figured I would open up OBS and do a live stream, because I haven't done one in like 2 months. Let's get back to what I was doing here. Now, I have a lot of windows off screen, and you're not going to be able to see most of them. So, you're definitely not going to get the full picture here, but you can kind of make out what I'm doing, I guess. Let's see here. Let me tweak that one a little bit more. There we go. I'm kind of just taking these bushes and outlining the runway with them right now. So I got them, every bush is individual, and I got them grouped so that I can place them more in bulk. I'm hoping it will not absolutely destroy performance. So far it hasn't. But yeah, as you can see, they're all individual, so since they're not grouped together at the modeling stage, I can actually take and as I place them over the hill, even though they're grouped together, single objects in the sim, they'll match the contour of the hill. So, previous versions, or previous sims like FSX and Prepared, possibly even X-Plane, but I don't know a lot about X-Plane. If you had grouped these models together inside the actual model, so you had multiple bushes inside the actual model, then you tried to place them like this, you just have a, a line of bushes floating in there. So, that's cool about Microsoft Flight Simulators. You can actually group things, group models together by default, which makes for, you know, placing bulk bushes like this over hills really nice and fluid. But we should probably get it back up here and continue placing, because we have quite a few more to go. Let's see here. I wonder. I don't think my mic is going, is it? I might have to restart OBS. Oh, you know what? It's because I have it in performance mode. Duh. Okay, yeah, it's working. We are all good. Crisis averted. Okay, I cannot remember if I duplicated that or not. And that is a solid no. Duplicate it. And we're gonna flip her on around here because we got a little bit of a curve in the side of the bushes that match the contour of the turnaround here at the end of the runway. I'm going to have to do a little bit more of a turn here. It's like working a big jigsaw puzzle, except for all the pieces don't match up, and I'm pretty much using a hammer to put them together. Because if it doesn't fit, you gotta make it. Let's see here. And I'm actually, judging by the photos I have, I had somebody actually fly out to this airport and do some aerial photographs for me, so I have a general idea of what it looks like. And the bushes actually don't come this close to the runway, but my runway is actually a lot wider right now than what it is in real life. So I'm going to slim this runway in here later, and that'll hopefully give me the right amount of grass on each side of the runway. This runway's been a struggle because the aerial imagery that I have, that I based it off of, don't know when it was taken exactly date-wise, but it was as the runway was being constructed, so the runway is a heck of a lot wider than what it is now. So it's been a struggle. I've been having to kind of slim the runway up every couple times I come in and do this to get it to the right sizing. This whole area here, where all these dead trees, or tree fall is, this is all going to be bushes as well. I may have to play with the scaling a little bit, but right now, actually, I'm probably honestly good. I'll probably stop there. I probably won't go any farther down. I'll finish out this side over here, because what I'm trying to do is I want to outline the entire runway in bushes, which I pretty much already done. And then I'm going to hide all of these trees so I can see what I'm doing better, because I want to bring the bushes all the way back to the default tree line. And then I'll bring some of the bushes, or actually place some more bushes of the default bushes inwards at a lower density. And that'll kind of blend it all together. But I want to have pretty much the custom bushes as far back as you can see, because this is all native vegetation, and it looks a heck of a lot better, a heck of a lot more varied than the default vegetation looks. So I think if we just place one more right here, we'll call it good, and then we'll disable the trees. We'll fill in the gaps. So let's duplicate this one. Move it on over here. And I think what we'll do, let's see here. Looks like do that. And the beauty of all these bushes being separate as well is if, let's say we got these two bushes here that are the exact same. If we don't like one of these bushes, well, we can just select it, get rid of it. Nothing's baked in, so everything's modular. But, oh, went too far. Redo. We're going to keep it there for now, because we don't want to get too far ahead. Alright. Let's go through here. Gotta organize my model groupings here off screen a little bit better. Let's go ahead and save. Okay, so we'll take all of these fallen trees. And let's see, I think... Oh, I hope I don't have to do it on a one-for-one basis. That will suck if I do. Hide. Oh, thank God. It did them all at once. Okay, yeah, and as you can see, there are still some trees out here. And that's because I started placing them one by one before I learned how to do the group placement. So all these trees right here were hand placed. I'm just going to have to work around them. And actually, you know what? Maybe they're grouped together enough that I can actually hide them. Let's make this as easy as possible. Looks like they are, so that may be good news. If I could get to the bottom of the list. There we go. And we'll hide those. There, now there shouldn't be a single pine tree standing. Awesome. Back down. Let's close this. Get back down to our groupings. To the bottom of the list. Duplicate our last group of bushes, which we'll place over there. And then now we're just going to fill in the blanks. We're filling all the gaps. Just the best we can. And it doesn't have to be as perfect the farther back we go either, because, you know, what counts is right at the tree line where you're going to immediately see it. The farther back in you go into the trees, the less of a chance you're going to have of seeing mistakes, whether it be a bush overlapping another bush, whatever. But also later on down the road, what I'll do is I'll make a pass through and I'll try to fix any little issues like that, just because I'm a perfectionist and, you know, I like making sure things are right. If I'm going to release something, I want it to be right, or as true to life as possible. I'm not worried about going all the way up to the trees here, or the default tree line. Just because, like I said before, I'm going to be kind of blending in default bushes anyways. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as we have a good spread. We're going to kind of work counterclockwise here. Just because I know I'm going to have fun doing the field here at the end, and I want to save the best part for last. Do all the boring stuff first. That's how you get through it. If you did all the fun stuff up front, then you would never make any progress. One little pesky bush in the way. Oh well. Ah, I missed some bushes. So let's unhide polygons real quick. And then let's go ahead and just delete that. Boom. There we go. Actually, I think this... is that the exclude? Yes, that is the vegetation exclude. And this is standard vegetation. fall off there. Check that poly point real quick. Oops, too much. Perfect. And we'll hide that again. Something I happen to think about here. I got a path that cuts through here to where the cabin is, and I think it's right about here, right about center screen. So I'm gonna have to eventually come back through here and delete some of these bushes to continue that path along. And probably manually move some, actually, to be honest. This is a pretty tight area over here. I may have to use smaller groupings of bushes. I do have a smaller grouping I'll probably end up using over here. So we'll just slap a block in there. So we should probably place this to fill in over here a little bit better. So bring it on around. This area here is going to be a little tricky to fill in. Mainly because I went around the border like I did, but I can come back with the smaller groupings and kind of plug a couple of these holes. I think we'll put one more at the end here and call it good on this end of the runway. probably rotate this. I need a little bit more. Let's try that. There we go. Uh-oh, I must have selected the wrong one. There's 31 at, okay. Starting to get a little bit of lag. Not everything is behaving the way it should. Which in hindsight, before I started the stream, I probably should have restarted the sim. So like I said before I started, I'd already been working on this for about an hour and a half. And right around the hour and a half to 2 hour mark is when performance really starts to go downhill. At least for me. I think it has something to do with dual monitor setup. Which, I'm not using the sim on multiple monitors. At least the display of it, but I do have windows thrown over there, which could very well be causing an issue. But you know what? I don't like my main view cluttered up. It makes it hard to work when you have windows in your face all the time. Not too much further to go. I'm definitely about ready to be done with placing bushes. actually thinking. Give my wrist a break for a second. Pop open social media here and toss it on the other monitor. And by one, I had somebody ask for a Twitch TV link. And I do not remember what it is, so I gotta go grab it. Alright. Now that that's done, break time over, and back to placing bushes again. Okay, I do not think I duplicated that. No, I did not. Just put that right there. Just like I said earlier, it's just like working a big jigsaw puzzle. Except sometimes the pieces don't fit perfectly. have to flip that around. I don't really like how those bushes are lining up. Rethink this a little bit. Rethink our strategy. Do that, and I think I can flip one. Actually, I keep the bigger end inward again. And we'll put her right there. Unfortunately, that leaves some bushes trailing off into the trees, but I can always go back and clean them up later. Alright, and from here, since like I said, this field is going to be covered, I'm going to start working my way across instead of around, because I think it's going to line up better if I do it that way. Let's see. I do know I am going to have to move some of these bushes around, but we'll worry about that later. That's just because I do have some other 3D pine tree models out here, the shorter pine trees, and then those fallen trees as well. I want to make sure everything kind of meshes together real good. But I'm just going to worry about actually getting everything placed right now. We'll worry about tidying up later. Should maybe flip that around again. It's almost just too wide. Maybe what we'll do is we'll move it down towards the end a little bit. Like that. I think I have it disabled. Let's re-enable this real quick. I think that'll fit in there quite nicely. About to reset my view here in a second. I do believe my horizon's tilted a little. It's making it a little difficult to maneuver around. Let's tilt that a little bit. Just kind of maneuver it down. I'll do here real quick. I said I'll clean up later, but I can't resist. I have to fix this. It's right in front of my face. Just take this bush and we'll move it over here. tuck this one a little further over here. Move this guy up here. Move him in. Maybe we'll even tuck that one a little bit. And then we'll bring this one in. Actually, no, just a little bit. Keep it disorganized. There we go. There, now it's not sticking out into the runway. It's a little bit more flush. Okay. Place this one, and I'm gonna have to reset my view. Control 8, and we'll use the hat switch. Little trick. That way we're not scrolling 4 million miles away to get our view back where we want it. And to anybody watching, I know this part has to be getting a little boring. Trust me, I'm bored as well. But it's got to be done. And I like to complete one step at a time. But hopefully here pretty soon, we can get this all filled in and move on to something else. Probably a good time to save. I used to work all the time in a program called S-Builder X. Sorry, I was taking a drink there. I used to work all the time in a program called S-Builder X when I was doing scenery for FSX and P3D. And the program was just notorious for crashing all the time. So it got to be a really big habit to always hit the save button. So if I go more than like 10 or 15 minutes without hitting the save button, internally I just start freaking out. Just because I'm so used to having that drilled in my head. And it's really not as vital or not as critical to save as often, because so far, knock on wood, MSFS is pretty stable when it comes to developer mode, at least from a crashing standpoint of just while just doing developer activities. Okay, I'll take a short break there to answer a message back. Let's try that again without clicking off of it again. Every so often when performance gets a little low, you just happen to misclick just enough that it selects one of the individual bushes, unfolds the entire grouping, and you gotta scroll up the list, close everything back, and find where the heck you left off. Unfortunately, there's not really a good way. You can lock the layers, but you can't duplicate them or mess with them after that. And plus, it's an extra step, and I'm lazy, so... I say that as I'm taking the time to literally place thousands of bushes in a digital scenery, which I then spent, you know, about 2 hours today making or finishing up said bushes. So yeah, I guess I'm lazy. So this is where it gets tricky. The last couple blocks. Because usually everything else I can make kind of fit roughly good. But then you get down to the last little gap here and it just kind of all goes to shit. But we're going to try our best to make it work here. Actually, I guess we got another little gap over there. And we still got to go through and patch up with the smaller blocks too. But as soon as we get that done, good to go. Then we'll probably start doing next is I'll probably start, first we'll see how everything looks, but probably need to start kind of slimming down the runway. Maybe moving some of these bushes around out here in the field. Ideally I'd like to get the runway a little bit more slimmed down tonight before I stop working on it. Currently 10 p.m. here, and I'm not planning on going to bed for at least another 2 hours, so we got plenty of time. Although ideally, hopefully it doesn't take me another 2 hours to finish this. You know what, I think we're going to have to use a small bush to fill that gap. I just don't like the way that's sealing up. We'll try to stick another one over here somewhere. I think we may be able to get two in here. We place them just right. There we go. Let's get a little bit of an overview here. Let's get that hole back there, the patch, a little bit along these trees here. Then of course around where the cabin's gonna be at. I think I got, yeah, there's a couple areas to patch down here. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back and grab the duplicate of that small plug we made. There it is. Actually, I'm not gonna worry too much. Sure, I can make them fit perfectly, but I could always come back and stick a single bush here as well, or even something else to give it a little bit of variation. So I'm not too worried about having a couple of gaps here and there. It will all work out in the end. And I'm thinking what I may have to do in this field, because it kind of looks consistently the same. I think it'll be fine in the trees. But having all these bushes in the open field, everything kind of looks the same. And these willow tufts here, which are the light ones, they're the kind of like grayish, whitish ones. They're kind of whitish because they got how the light's reflecting off of them right now. I there's just a lot of them. And I'll have to go back and reference the photograph I have, which I'll throw that up on screen here in a bit. But I think the bushes are more like these smaller green bushes in this area. So I may have to thin those willows out a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to fill in those gaps there. I probably didn't really even need to fill in those gaps too much back there, just because of how the trees are going to be. So let's knock out around the cabin real quick. So I think we got the cabin. We got the other opposite end, the runway. Got a little space down there we need to fill out. And I think that's it. And I think we can finally add the trees back in. Actually, we'll blend in some bushes along the edge first before we add the trees back in. At least make it a little bit easier to see what we're doing. Duplicate. This area here, these bushes are almost like placeholders because I'm gonna have to doctor this area up quite a bit. Actually, we're gonna move that. Yeah, we'll put that there for now. This is gonna be one of the last areas I'm gonna work on. Obviously, I'm gonna finish the airstrip first. The majority of it. I'm sure there'll be something I change at the end. But then when we start working on the cabin area, of course, I'm gonna have to really do some magic here to kind of bring it all together and make it look like a good, realistic rendition with some clutter laying around and such. And kind of blend the bush line and tree line. So there's definitely going to be some work to do there. So yeah, these are going to be kind of like placeholder bushes because I'm sure they're going to get moved around a little bit. And I'm sure I'm going to have to place some single bushes here as well eventually. But we'll just kind of get them right up along the edge here. At least get a border going. hoping when I turn the trees back on that the gap I left for the path is going to be prominent enough that I can actually see. Kind of where it is. Definitely gonna have some cleanup to do. Got a couple bushes overlapping here and there, but whatever. Okay, down to our last few gaps to fill in here. There's one. Then I hop across the hill to fill in the other. God, that drag's so slow. Okay. Take a quick little look around here, make sure I don't miss anything. So I'm pretty pleased with how well it's filled in. Like I said, I'm not worried about these gaps over here by the tree line. Got a decent spread over here around the cabin, which I'm sure is going to change. I'll probably have to tighten them up a little bit, a little farther out, leave some grass around it. I can't remember if there's... I'll look at the aerial imagery again, or the aerial photo. But I can't remember if there's dirt underneath this still or not. I think it's grown over with grass, but I can't quite remember. Alright, let's get everything activated again. Unhide the palm trees. Actually, I could do this easier. Just hide everything and unhide everything. On the master branch there. Instead of having to go through and select everything. There. Oh shoot, I was gonna put bushes around the edge, that's right. Oh, well. That's okay. We'll get them. Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna have to thin out some of these. Let's let me dig up the photographs. Let's go ahead and switch from game capture mode to display capture. That way you'll actually be able to see it. And let's see, do I have the window open? I don't need that window. see, reference photos. Let's tab through here and we'll get a good angle from the back side. There we go. Do I have one more straight on? Oops, went the wrong direction. There we go. Now, they're not the best quality photos zooming in, but as you can see, it's a lot more green brush down here along the bottom. And it's a heck of a lot more narrow than what we have. I can maybe try to get a little bit of a comparison angle here. It's not going to be perfect, obviously. Maybe something like that. Yeah, the photograph's a little higher up, but you can see it's a heck of a lot more narrow. And I'll even have to end up placing some more trees in that field. But, yeah. I'd say it's off to a good start. Narrow up that runway just a little bit more. I think the far end of it looks to be fairly decent. Maybe take a little bit off the left-hand side. The end closest, it definitely needs to be brought in more. The kind of neck in between there where it gets really narrow, that's pretty well. And then obviously we got a little bit there, kind of that nub sticking out to the right. That's going to have to come in. And then everything else just kind of needs to be slimmed in just a little bit more. So let's get these bushes blended in. Flip back to game capture so it has better performance. And let's see here. No, I can just go ahead and hide that. Hide that. Yeah, I can probably work with that. I should probably. We'll do the group separate. We'll just do the trees and the group, because I want to be able to see the bushes. There we go. There. Now we should be able to blend it a little bit better. To unhide the polygons and get our polygon tool selected. Into more of a top-down view. And we can kind of start. We'll just I don't want to go too far in here, but I do want to have a nice little ring of just bushes along the edge, no trees or anything. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish here. The hardest part when you start adding more and more custom stuff to an airport, especially vegetation, the hardest part is just blending it with its default surroundings, because everything looks so wildly different. And it may look like I'm placing it really far away from where I'm intending to place it, which I guess you really can't see my mouse to know where I am trying to place it. But it's because it's at an elevation, so the actual line's elevated above the ground. So it looks like I'm placing it farther out than what I really am. That down. We'll get zoomed in here a little bit. And we'll say vegetation. Maybe. There we go. And we're gonna bring the scale on down as low as we can get it. Which is going to be 0.01 is the lowest, which really isn't that small. But then we got to go down here to select biome override because we don't want trees in here, we just want bushes. And so I got to remember which one I used before. I probably should have looked before I delete them. Just scrub. And it is going to have some trees in there, but it's going to be the majority of just bushes. And as you can see, we got a nice little healthy mix of bushes along the edge here now. Kind of blended in. Actually, that may not look bad. We'll may have to play around with that. That may not look bad if we kind of blend those in a little farther into the field here, but I'm not going to do too much on that right yet. Alright, let's get that hidden, because I don't want to see those. Then group objects, we will hide, and then unhide one more time for good measure. That way we get all of our trees back. And then scenery, we can unhide to fill in the rest of the trees. And there. Now if we kind of zoom in here, I should be able to see, let's go from the runway. I should be able to see back into the wood line, but not like completely through it. So gives me a little bit of kind of depth of field through it. But then we hit the default tree line back here and it just gets filled in. And you can kind of see how that blends along the edge where I have 3D model trees mixed in with the default trees. So yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. I'll go ahead and reset our view again. We're starting to get a little bit of a list. A little far down. I think what we'll do here is we'll just kind of go through. I'll try to thin out these willows just a little bit. So I want to leave more, I'm going to select all these dang trees along the way. I want to leave more like green vegetation, not necessarily so much brown in here. And this will definitely have to be an ongoing process. There's no way I can do this all in one sitting. Actually, ideally, it'd be nice if there's just no willows in here whatsoever. Whoops, delete the tree. And for whatever reason, the tree did not go back. Didn't go back to where I deleted that from. Interesting. Oh wait, yeah, I did. I was just on the wrong bush. Ah, come on. Yeah. If anything, maybe just delete the taller ones. They kind of stand out. And this has all been cut over here recently. Within the last couple of years, the trees out of this area anyway, so the shrub growth, it's going to be decently tall, but it's not going to be like really tall. Of course, I'm not sure how fast willows grow. Too bad there's not like a freaking... Too bad I can't just like select an area and say only select the willows in this area. Not really an easy way to do that. So we'll just have to do it a little bit at a time. No face cam yet, OG. No face cam yet. Maybe eventually. But not top priority right now. It's looking a little bit better. Not nearly as many. Alright, I'm tired of dealing with bushes. Let's work on something else for a change. Let's go tackle the runway. Yep, I got the music streaming. It's in a tab in the background. Hopefully the levels are good. I checked it before I started, but who knows with technology. Clean up my scenery editor window over here a little bit before I do anything else. some of these collapsible sections closed up. Then we can do unhide on the runway pulleys. And shoot, you know what? I have multiple overlays on this runway now, so I'm going to have to redo them. Let's see, dirt overlay. I'm going to rename this real quick so I can keep track of it. Maybe. There we go. I guess I did it the hard way. Okay. Since this is an overlay, I need to get rid of it because I'm going to have to completely redo it. Or not really. I'll just have to redo the texture. So I'm just gonna shove her over there in the trees. Because I only want to edit the very bottom layer. Okay, let's get capture mode switched up again here. Let's throw our reference shot back up on the screen. Back off just a little bit here. I'm actually going to lock a couple of these groups real quick so I don't end up selecting the trees and screwing up my scenery list again. And then let's hide this. Throw the reference on up there and let's take a look. Okay. So definitely need to bring the ends in. A little too wide on the center. Not bad though, and it slims in a little bit right there, just south of the center. So let's try to do that. Not really any right way of doing this because I don't have an active reference, but maybe something like that. But I did say that this one needs to be slimmed in a little bit more, so we'll try to bring that in some. Kind of jump around here on the poly points. Okay, let's slim in a little bit more. Get that brought in a little. dang it. Okay. Unfortunately, that is our reference point, or our starting point, so it moves the texture if I move the point. Maybe if I turn it off. No, it's just gonna screw it up. But I wonder if I have local UV turned off. Okay. Then maybe I can just fix the actual placement. It's not going to be perfect. I'll have to tweak on it a little bit. Get my reference image thrown up on the other screen here. So I can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, this definitely needs to come way in. There should almost be no dirt on the edges here. Actually, it needs to come in even more on this side. Things here a little bit. Maybe if I can select the freaking point. There we go. Somewhere right along this area. I need to figure out where that cut through to the cabin is. So here it is right here. So we're actually going to have... Actually, that may be... Okay. So this polygon here. So actually come back a little bit. Right there, because that's going to be kind of where the start of our path back to the cabin is, where it's going to snake through the trees here. Okay. Continue kind of narrowing up the runway here. It does, let's see, just before this section. So I'm gonna move this point down here. It does kind of jut out a little bit. So we'll be sure to get that added in. Then we narrow up again as we go past that point. So kind of bring these in so that we bring the grass in a little bit as well. That's pretty much going to be the width of the runway for a little bit of a straight shot here. At least till we get a little bit more towards the end. And then this little thing that jets out here actually does not exist. So we'll bring this in quite a bit. How does that taper in? So we're still pretty straight along this point. Definitely a heck of a lot more narrow than it was. And I may actually have to increase the tiling size of it a little bit, because I want that white section, or the lighter section of the dirt there, to be more prominent and to take up more of the actual runway. Because like we can kind of see in the photograph here, it's very bright in the center, very bright sand or dirt in the center. And then it's kind of got darker dirt along the edge. So we'll increase the tiling here in a bit. And of course I X'd out an image. So it should widen out a little bit right before the end of the runway, which it kind of is already. However, it should pretty much be right before the edge of the runway, so that needs to move down. This needs to move inward. Actually up a little bit. And then that can actually move in because it's a fairly subtle change. Move that in a little bit as well. What I'm going to have to do here is maybe, so it's 176. Drop that down a little bit. That'll allow some of that spare dirt I had piled up along the side to kind of bleed through. It gives a little bit better of a taper too. This is definitely going to have to come in. This needs to come in because we have more of a yeah, okay. Getting there, little by little. Get everything hidden again. Actually, we'll move that over slightly. Angle is definitely not right. As far as the angle I have for my camera on the sim. Okay. So I still need to neck down this end even more. Actually, I don't think I did anything with this end of the runway. Back end of it needs to maybe be widened out just a little bit on the right hand side. Width is pretty good. This here. that in just a little bit. I don't know how far out this goes, but maybe just widen that out a little bit like that, or bring that out just a little bit. Expose a little bit more of that dirt there on the right hand side. That is about it though. It's about all I'm going to get out of it. Alright, should probably tackle this end. Let's see here. Kind of get that out of the way. Okay, so it should. Come on, select. Should kind of come in a little bit abruptly. Shouldn't be as elongated, so this end needs to come in. This sticks out just a little bit. Before returning back in, so we'll kind of bring that in a little bit. And we're still kind of too tall. This actually tapers off. I think actually I'll just go ahead and delete that point. So that's more of a straight down taper. I think this actually needs to come up even more. Then we'll bring this poly back over and get some of that grass blending action. Let's see what we got. So that little center section there that kind of juts out, that definitely needs to come down a little bit more, because it's a lot closer. It needs to come farther towards me. It needs to be necked down a little bit more on the far side. But the end definitely looks a lot better. Go. Okay. The next thing I need to do is I need to make the tiling a little bit wider. So we're using 18-meter tiling right now, so let's try like, you know, 20. Actually, I wonder. Okay, yeah, there we go. Kind of odd, it kind of just stays the same in the center. Okay. Guess we'll just kind of widen it out until we have acceptable results then. I'm not really seeing a... I thought the overlay did more than that. I guess it kind of adds a little bit more texture to it. I thought I made it darker for some reason. Okay. Rename that layer so I can keep track of it. Go ahead and delete the old layer out there in the trees because we don't need that anymore. So odd. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why the I don't see like a huge change in the texture, and I'm not sure why. I think this has changed a little bit as far as how the texture positioning is handled. Because I should have a pretty prominent white line running through this, and I should be able to move around. I should actually be able to see it moving around. Kind of like that. Right there. But it's not changing in some areas, which is quite odd. I think we'll roll with that right there. Actually, we're gonna make it an even number. And then we'll put that detail overlay back on and hide the borders. There we go. There, that runway looks a heck of a lot better now. It looks a lot more narrow. And we'll have to do a little bit of blending with the bushes. Alright, let's take a look at that passage through the trees here. See if we can find it again. There it is. Unlock the object groups because I need to go through here. Remove some of these bushes from the path. Move them out of the way. There are some bushes I want to keep here though. They're not bushes, but trees. I have one of them selected, so I want to make sure I don't delete that. Got some Some small little sapling 3D trees here, kind of along the path. Some of these bushes I'm actually just going to move off the path, kind of along the side, as opposed to actually deleting them, because I do want some to remain here. There we go. Yeah, we got one straggler hidden in the shadow. There, now we got a nice little path. That one over. And we'll move this one over as well. Tuck that one just a little bit more as well. Actually, you know what? It looked like a path, but it wasn't the right path. Oh man. Okay, well, we'll just spam the undo button here. We don't have to put all the bushes back. We'll call that good. The real path is right here, where I had the freaking dirt marker at, which I should have paid attention to. We'll just use this as an excuse to move some of these bushes out here. There we go. Now we got the right passageway opened up. All right. Once again, have to go through and close up all these groups now that I opened up from editing the placement. You know what? There's too many of them open. I'm not gonna fucking do it. Definitely gonna have to play around with these bushes at the end of the runway a little bit more. It doesn't look as bad since I took some of those willows out, but hey, I got overflown by somebody. Since this airport doesn't exist in the simulator currently, he's probably sitting there thinking, huh, that guy crashed into all those frickin' trees. Because to everybody else, I'm just an airplane sitting in a bunch of trees right now. Alright, while we're here, I'm gonna take a look at some other vegetation that I have. I think I pretty much got everything done that I wanted to do tonight. All the bushes are placed. Got the runway shrunk down. Got the path carved down the trees, but let's kind of play around here for a second. Just experiment. Find what I'm looking for. There's this. These pink flowers will be a part of the foliage here at the edge of the runway here later on. Eventually I'll have this placed along the edge. Then I almost need something else, some more of a filler. I can maybe use some default vegetation models. That's not what I was looking for. Could very well use this model as well. Let's place one here. Place a couple of them. Let's just we'll just delete them when we're done. Just because I want to see how it blends. So I need something else along the edge other than just default grass and custom bushes. And I think this will actually work out pretty well. Yeah, I like how that works, but let's go back and grab those flowers. Actually, so this is scaled up to twice the height, so let's I forgot I had that scaling factor set 2 times. Let's change it back to default of 1, and it'll actually probably blend a little bit better because it'll be a little shorter, and we can bump it up a little bit. I just don't want to make it too tall. So let's do like, I don't know, 1.2. Whoa. Heck, even maybe the 2 might have been fine. Well, let's do like 1.5. It's about, damn it, frickin' view keeps flipping around. It's about the same height, but it gives a little bit different of a texture. It's not all like the same grass style, which is just a couple of my freewares that I have out now. I use this exact same model to kind of do the same thing, to break it up a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work pretty well. I think I'm using 1.5 for that. Yeah, 1.5. I don't think I need to go any taller than that. because it's just slightly taller than the surrounding terrain. Because what I want to do is I want to vary the height of the grass. That's what makes it look good. If it's all uniform, all the same height, it doesn't look good. We can kind of see here, like, there's a little bit of variation, sure. But it's relatively the same height if we look at the grass here. But if we hop over to where we place all this, where it's in the tall grass here, we can see that it's a lot taller than the tall grass surrounding it. And if we leave little pockets in between, then it adds even more variation in height and breaks it up even more. Not to mention it adds more color. Heck, maybe I'll just start placing some of this and see where we go. See how far we can get. I'm not going to do it all, because obviously it's going to take quite a bit of work here. Actually, I kind of gotta watch where I'm placing it, because this is a legacy grouping from prepared, so it doesn't play that well with elevation changes. It will float. So in those areas that I have elevation changes or varying elevations, I gotta pay real close attention. See that it's floating a little bit there, but to fix that, we'll just say snap the ground, give her a little bit of a rotate here just to fudge it, and then we'll drop her into the ground a little bit. There. And I don't want to get too carried away with this because I'm still debating. I think I'm going to put... I haven't done it yet because of recent issues with the SDK, with the elevation models. But I think I'm going to put a high resolution elevation model in here, which I believe the default terrain is 5 meters here. But the one I have is 2 to 3 meters. So it will show a little bit of an improvement in definition. I'm just trying to decide if it's worth doing or not. But if I do end up doing it, then it's going to affect the elevation of a lot of stuff, which isn't going to hurt with the bushes and the trees. Because like I said, they're all separate. They'll adjust up and down with the elevation no matter what. But if with this grass I'm placing, since it's all grouped together in the actual model and not separate clumps, it's going to be affected different by elevation. Which means the more I place, the more I'm going to have to go back and correct. So, we're not going to get too carried away with that just yet. But I am going to throw in, just in this section here, we'll throw in some of these wildflowers as well. Typically these are going to be out in the sun. Tuck it in right there, and of course it placed one over here as I moved my view. Shrink her down a little bit. Gonna shove her back here in the corner. Actually flare it out just a little bit more. I actually think I mistyped and mistakenly made that a heck of a lot bigger than it should have been, but it doesn't look that bad. So, there we have it. If I can get a good camera angle here. Yeah, that's not too bad. So that'll kind of roughly be what the runway edge environment looks like when it's done. Of course, it's going to look a heck of a lot better once it's filled in more, but we'll have the variation and kind of vegetation at the edge, and then the flowers as well, to kind of add some more color and contrast in. And of course, we'll replicate that all the way around the runway, all the way around the cabin. And then we'll have a bunch of, not a bunch of clutter, we'll have a decent amount of clutter over by the cabin once that's done. Which I'm just kind of in the, I've already started on the model for the cabin, but I'm not that far along on it. I'm still very basic on the model. Honestly, it'll probably be one of the last things to go in. Just because I want to make sure, before I start screwing with the cabin too much, I want to make sure I have the terrain kind of wrapped up, so that will include anything with the digital elevation model. Which I'll probably experiment with that in the next couple of days. But yeah. Starting to slowly come together. Well, anyways, it's almost 11:40 in the evening. I think I'm going to call this stream here. I can feel myself progressively getting more and more tired as I slur my words more and more. So, I've been at it for, let's see, let's get a time. This stream here has been going for about 2.5 hours. I've been working on the scenery for, I think, what, 2 hours prior to that, so 4.5 hours roughly, a little over that. Yeah, I need to stop working on this for the day. Not to mention I spent another 2 hours finishing up the shrubs here earlier, off stream, so. Got over a quarter of a day spent on this so far. Which, hey, progress. But progress has to end for the night. I'm going to get off here and go to bed. So, thanks to everybody who tuned in. And I may start doing some more of these streams. Who knows? Anyways, Road Note 44. Over and out.